This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
I'm Michael Chitwood. Breaking Points continues with that massive subject that we started just the other day. We've got to go to category number 2 on the compensation for the pastor. It's important for you to make sure now that in all of this, that you get the understanding and the knowledge of what really qualifies them for it, because you cannot deduct FICA tax from his paycheck or from her paycheck. They're subject to paying the self-employment tax on Schedule SC. The categories of support. Review. How many categories of support do we have? 4. We've covered category 1. Category number 1 was called ministry-related expenses. The nation's average, $5,000, 66 items. Category number 2. Grab pen and pad. Let's take a note. Category number 2, fringe benefits. This is all of the benefits that go into a pastor's package. The pastor's entitled to certain benefits just like you are at your employment where you work. For example, group, life, health, and disability insurance. That would be considered a fringe benefit. A 401k or a 403b, though retirement plans, that would be considered a fringe benefit. Equity sharing, all of those things that make up this particular category would be in a category for fringe benefits. Now, the beautiful part about this is this does not go into the pastor's W-2 form. It's excluded. So the whole point is to pay him a salary, pay him a housing allowance. We know that he has to pay income tax on his salary, and we know that he has to pay Social Security tax on his salary and his housing unless he opted out under 4361. We know all that. So the point and the objective of this lesson is the knowledge is power. It's not what you know that will hurt you. It's what you don't know concept. You need to realize that the fringe benefits do not go into category number 2. So category number 2 is fringe benefits, group, life, health, disability insurance, 401k, 403b, equity sharing plan, deferred compensation, deferred housing, split dollar. All of those things make up for a great package for the pastor. These are referred to as the categories of support. Compensation. What makes up the pastor's taxable portion and what makes up the pastor's non-taxable portion. Category number 3. Let's move to category number 3. Category number 3 is just nothing but personal salary. What else can I tell you about personal salary except this? I do recommend that you give a separate check for the pastor for his salary and a separate check for the pastor for his housing allowance, and obviously a separate check for any reimbursement expenses that may be incurred. Now, on personal salary, you need to realize a couple of things. It's now wrong for the board to set the pastor's salary. They can't set the pastor's salary, and ladies and gentlemen, here's the reason why. They don't really know how to set the pastor's salary because of all the new guidelines. Is it based on increased revenue from prior years of the church? Is it based on the equity increase? Is it based on the number of assets under management? One church paid their pastor $1 million a year salary, but the church and the television and the Canadian ministry grossed $87 million a year. Would you consider that outstanding or too much? He brought in $87 million. They paid him $1 million. So you have to view, you have to weigh, and then you have to be a decision maker to make a choice. Are you going to be able to arrive at a satisfactory figure for the pastor? It's not what the board says anymore. It's not even what the pastor says anymore, because we have guidelines that you have to go by in order not to set his pastor's salary too high. If you do, then you're going to have what we call intermediate sanctions placed upon the fiduciary agent or the responsible party. Now, the compensation for the categories. Category 1, ministry-related expenses. Category 2, fringe benefits. Category 3, personal salary. These are the benefits. These are the categories that you must learn, and that's the reason why that we're bringing this to you, because this is breaking news. So as you set the pastor's compensation package, remember, distinguish what goes in and distinguish what should not go in, because that will determine how much tax that man of God or woman of God will pay when they file their personal 1040 tax return. And our job is to help them pay what they owe, but not pay any more. Until next time, this is Michael Chitwood. I'll see you tomorrow on Breaking Points.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.